So we're getting close to our end here. We've been doing a lot of fabrication, and there's a couple of different pieces I didn't get to show off just because of the metallic mess that we were making and all the welding and the plasma cutting. I just didn't want the camera in that space. There's a crossover pipe that came with the eBay hut parts that we had to chop the flange off of on the driver's side and reclock it and then weld it back on. And then we had to shorten the crossover pipes that would fit in the Trailblazer SS. That's done, and that's already in the car, so I got no way to show that to you, but it came out great. This is our downpipe. This is a really cool specific downpipe. This has, it mounts to the turbo, it mounts to the wastegate. We have a bung for the wideband O2 sensor for the gauge he's gonna have. And this will go in the car. There's a secondary strain relief that we welded to the crossover pipe. And that should do a good job of supporting the weight of this and the turbo and keeping that load off of our welds from the mild steel to the cast, so that the turbo can last and live a good, long, happy life in this Trailblazer SS. Let me put this in real quick and I'll show you the secondary strain relief. All right, before the downpipe goes back in, we made a heat shield to go over our strut tower, and the side of the heat shield that is the closest to the heat, we wrapped with a layer of the exhaust header wrap. This should do a good job at keeping our control arm bushings from melting due to the heat that all this power adder is going to throw up. Just underneath the wastegate, we've welded a bracket from our wastegate takeoff on the manifold to the cylinder head as the first of 2 strain reliefs. This will help hold the weight of the turbo and the downpipe, so that we're not trying, so that we don't have all this weight that just wants to bend, bow, and crack our header setup. Here's a better picture of our primary strain relief. This will be the oxygen sensor for bank 2, and also the wideband for tuning. And this will be the sensor that gets used for the wideband for the gauge. It's after the turbo. It's still up top in a good and easy place to get to. This is inside of the right front wheel well. We're looking at the back side of the upper control arm, and where the crossover pipe comes up to the turbo manifold, and where the downpipe comes down. The clamp around the downpipe is the secondary strain relief. We took this piece of metal, it's a little U-bend, we welded it to our crossover pipe, and we have a strap going around the outside. And this, in conjunction with the primary strain relief, is supporting all of the weight of the turbo and the downpipe and holding it in a fixed location, so it won't be inclined to shake about or try to put any type of stress or load on our mild steel to cast welded turbo manifold. We expect this to live a good long time and perform just fine. That's our downpipe installed. It came out all right. It clears everything else. It's nowhere near touching or interfering with anything else. It's got plenty of room, and we're happy with it. From here we got to finish putting the AC stuff back together. We got a little bit of electrical work we got to do. We got to run a power wire from the fuel pump up to the relay box and install a better, stronger relay to power the 450 liter per hour pump we put in the tank. And we got to get the radiator and stuff back in and get the plumbing done. And we're almost there. We're getting ready to start this thing up pretty soon and get to hear it run with the Texas Speed Stage 3 Turbo Cam.